Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to call this meeting to order for the quarter revision for the South Rodney Drain at 3:45 p.m. We're going to start with item 2, appointing a chair. That the quarter revision for the South Rodney Drain hereby appoints Ryan Statham as chair. Moved by Richard Leatham, second by Bill Denning. All in favor? That is so carried.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Number 3, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4, adoption of previous Court of Revision minutes. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please.
All in favor?
Number 5, South Rodney Drain. I believe we have John Michael on the line. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. Today's meeting is the quarter revision for the South Rodney Drain. So I haven't received any written appeals. So there's really not a lot to talk about unless somebody wants to submit a last minute verbal appeal. The assessment schedules are presented on pages 9 and 10 of the report, and they outline the costs, everybody's associated costs with the project.
Thank you very much. So I guess we'll move on to 5.1 comments from landowners. If anybody would like to make a comment, please come to the podium. Press the button for the mic if you would. Thank you.
My name's Dave Kelly. For anybody that doesn't know me, I know John here. I do have a couple of questions. One is, it's not directed right at John, this will be more at council, is that this land is going to be rezoned settlement area. It's gone on now for months and months, and I spent a lot of time talking with Robert Brown, who tells me that we should know in the next couple of weeks. It's still not approved yet, and I'm going to be the biggest cost thing for this drain, because it's probably around $70,000 that I'm going to spend to have the drain moved so it can be a settlement area without having to do it later. Is it ever going to be approved or is it not? You know, like I put out this huge amount of money, and if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to be pretty unhappy. So I got a couple of questions for John here. One is that back on April 5th, you gave an estimate of about 62,000. Then on May 27th, with the big report that you gave on page 9, it's confusing to me because there's two numbers there, which would come to 92,000. And also then on page 13, it's 64,000. So what is my estimated cost here? I'm taking you a little bit by surprise here, but if you do go to those pages that you submitted on May 27th, page 9, it looks to me like it could be 92,000.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then
there's,
on page, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, so there's a schedule of net assessment. So you should have that, because part of your costs, Mr. Kelly, are grantable. So you have a portion that's non-grantable, and that's for the sealed pipe. That's the sealed pipe if you have the lots, and that's $28,000. But the rest of it, because it's, got a large agricultural component still, there's a grant on it. So if you look at that assessment schedule of net assessment, and there's no page number on it.
That's 13.
It's 13. So you'll be paying your net costs, like your out-of-pocket costs, are $35,000 and $28,000. So those two numbers at the end, which totals
$64,000.
Yeah. $64,000. Yes.
So that's actually gone up from the April 5th estimate of 62,000. So I'm presuming these costs are increasing by the month.
Yeah, well, when we have the preliminary meeting, there are preliminary numbers. We finalize everything and go through all the details, and they do vary a little bit, but we try to stay fairly close to what the 62,000 is. So that would explain the discrepancy there, sir.
Okay. And just so everybody knows, Tim Gilliard tiled my farm, or 22 acres of my farm, back in 2018 for $35,000. And some of that tile is running in that area where it's going to be dug up. I'm a little concerned what might happen to that. Gilliards have mapped that area of the field that's going to be dug up to, so that's just something to take in thought, that they do have some information already on it. And yes, you did tell me that that sewer tile was very expensive. I didn't believe you. I went to Tim Gilliard. You're right. It's $77 a foot.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's outrageous. So, but okay.
Mhm.
And I had some other questions. I think Terry's already answered them before the actual meeting started that I had. So about the costs and how I pay for them and so on and so forth. So gotta go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Appreciate your input. Are there any other comments from any other landowners? Okay, do we have any comments from Court of Revision members? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair. So Mr. Kelly was with us last time and has come back and expressed the same concern, which is a legitimate concern about the investment in this property based on, at this point, technically speaking, speculation, because we have a draft official plan that we are waiting for the county to finalize and bring back to us. At which point, once the county has reviewed and approved it, then we can put the final approval on. Is that accurate? And they've told us that a few weeks. So I'll just say today, again, what I said the last council meeting, which is that I'm very confident, at least my perspective is that I'm very excited with what this official plan looks like, and I'm looking forward to supporting it and moving forward.
Thank you, Councillor Denning. Are there any other comments from members of the Court of Revision? Seeing none, we'll move on to 6, and we'll get a recommendation from the clerk.
That the Court of Revision hereby approve the schedule assessment for the South Rodney Drain as outlined in the report prepared by Spreets Associates Engineering Limited, dated May 27th, 2024.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please?
I have moved by Teresa Tellier, seconded by Bill Denning. All in favor? That is carried.
Excellent. We'll move on to adjournment. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that,
Read the
please?
recommendation first.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay.
Sorry, clerk.
That the Court of Revision for the South Rodney Drain hereby adjourn at 3:52 p.m. Moved by Richard Leatham. Seconded by Teresa Tellier. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, John Michael.